Hey guys, I just wanted to show you a really awesome tool that you can find in your game client. It can help you to make the best decision for what sort of ship you want to fly and what sort of modules you want to use. So it's called the Compare tool, and you can find it by going to your Neocom. That's the big E in the upper left hand corner, going to Utilities, and I want you to drag it and make a shortcut on your shortcut bar. This way you can access it whenever you want. So we're going to go ahead and open that. Now what this does is it allows you to take different items or different ships and compare their attributes, and you can select different attributes to compare. So we want to compare, let's say, frigates. So let's go Caldari frigate. This will give us a search result for the skill, and we're going to take all the Caldari frigates and we're going to throw them in here. Now it's going to give us all these frigates, and we can choose the attributes that we want to compare. So I'm gonna go for, let's say, the tank on the different ships. Armor hit points, shield. I want to look at signature radius and velocity. Oh, and maybe sensor strength as well. Gravimetric for Caldari. So here we go. So this is my tank. So I can compare, okay, what's going to be the tankiest ship for me? I can see here that when it comes to armor hit points, these guys have got the most, but it's shield tank. So Bantam, which is Logi, Kestrel, or Merlin have got the most shield tank and the most structure hit points. The signature is a little big, but it's got decent sensor strength, half decent speed. Now, if I was looking to sig tank, I would go for the Condor, which has the fastest base velocity and the smallest signature. So it's really helpful to allow you to zero in on the right ship for the tactics you want to employ, or to just explore different options available to you. Now for modules, it can help you to compare modules. Let's go ahead and reset all. Now let's look up scramblers. So we can go into one of these, go to the variations tab, and we can pull them all, including the Tech 2, into the compare tool. Now we're going to look at our activation costs, we're going to look at CPU and power grid requirements, optimal range, and warp scramble strength, which would apply if it was a faction module. They would have a strength of 3, but we'll cancel that one. So we can see here that with the named versions, we can see how they compare to the base Tech 1. So the base Tech 1 takes a lot to activate, only 7,500 meter range. We can get the same sort of requirements for CPU and power grid and activation, but way more range if we go for the faint epsilon scoped. We can actually even add the estimated price here, and we can see that it's going to be even cheaper than the base Tech 1. So this compare tool can help us zero in on the exact meta module that we want for the job. Now, some modules, some weapons rather, will have different fitting requirements, different ranges, different tracking. So let's look up small hybrids. Where are we here? Small hybrid turret. So we can go into the light electron, light neutron, light ion, bring them in. And now this will help us to compare the different kinds. We can go to our activation cost, accuracy fall off, tracking, rate of fire, our fitting, and our damage multiplier and optimal range. There we go. So we can see here that the 3 different kinds of blasters, the Electron has the best tracking, but the shortest optimal range. The Neutron has the poorest tracking, but it has an amazing damage multiplier and really good range. So this can also help us to compare the right weapon for the job. Let's say we want to use a ship that doesn't have a lot of fitting room. We can use this to compare the amount of fitting room, so CPU and power grid for the weapons that we want to use, and see what the trade-off is with the damage multiplier or the range. Now I'm going to show you something that I'm going to be doing with this. So let's go Caldari frigate again. So we'll reset this, reset all. We'll go into our Caldari frigate. Let's bring all these in. Now what we can do is we can actually import this into a spreadsheet. So let's go armor, shield. Let's do our tank again at first. Signature radius, structure hit points. Where is that at? Structure hit points. inertia modifier because we might want to escape, and our sensor strength. Oh, and max velocity. Here we go. So now we can take all this, Control A, Control C, and bring it into a spreadsheet. Now we have all these different attributes that we can compare on the ship. We can then load up some different attributes. So we would uncheck all, and we would go into things like capacitor, power grid, and CPU, the slots. For our fitting room, grab all that and put it in the same lines. And now we can compare even more attributes at a glance. You can see here what I've done with the Amar frigates is I have highlighted the best ones in each category. So we can easily see here the Punisher and the Tormentor are the best in terms of buffer, but the poorest in terms of inertia, or their mass is also pretty heavy. Sorry, the mass is lighter than the Inquisitor, but it's still pretty up there. So it allows us to compare all these different attributes at once. I really hope that helps. Cheers.